In this video, I want to talk about developing your sound as an artist and just talking about business, music, and producer lessons and stuff that you need to maybe understand, you know? So, first of all, consider, let's get a few lessons out of the way. When you're an artist, you should have fun. So when you start making music and where you're actually making music for a long time, 2 to 5 years, or even longer, until that point, just have fun. Like, go home and have fun. Don't think like, oh, I need to do this because I need to get famous, rich, and everybody needs to know my sound, and oh fuck, I don't have my signature sound. Don't worry. First, just have fun and just do it the right way. Just get that's the first thing. I guarantee you a lot of people didn't get at their spot just by waking up and being like, I need to get famous. It's just like when you're producing for 6 years, you could be like, okay, let's take it to the next level. How can I achieve that? So the second thing is, when something sounds good, it is good. So don't worry about it. If somebody then tells you like you did it the wrong way, there's no wrong way. Every way works as long as it sounds good. And there's a difference between sounding good and being original. What I mean is, like, you can make something very unique and have it sound good. But that doesn't mean that something unique sounds good. There's things that determine a good sound. So don't go too random, but also don't go too safe when developing your sound. And what I mean is, if you have a very shitty song, but you mix it and master it properly, it would sound good based on the master and the mix, and then it might not sound melodically good. You know, there's different factors that tie into having a good sounding song. So what I try to say is, like, don't worry too much about it. If it sounds good, it is good, right? And do get creative, but there's no wrong way, actually. Yeah. So the third thing is like writer's block. So when you actually experience something where you don't have inspiration at all, what you can do is determine where it's coming from. If you've been producing for 2 weeks on end and you've continuously or like gradually made worse and worse songs, and you've been producing like 6 hours a day, how do you think that you got into that mindset of, I can't do anything? That's because you didn't take a step back. And I think that writer's block gets overcome when you actually just take a step back, don't make music, go to the gym, eat some nice food, go to nature, enjoy life, go back and then listen to your music. And don't listen to your music the days after, like you stop making music, but then actually listen to your own music. No, just don't stop with it and just take a step back and allow yourself to regenerate a little bit. And I guarantee you in a little bit of time, you get inspired again. And talking about inspiration, the fourth thing, I guess, is you can listen to other music. You don't only need to listen to hardstyle. You can listen to dance music, EDM, jazz, blues, it doesn't matter. You can take all these elements and actually get better at hardstyle as well. Just really experiment and get better at it. And I guarantee you will have much more fun if you try to break the boundaries as well. So another thing you really need to realize is, before you actually develop your own sound, make sure that you have the basics down. So you can't just go and make your own sound if you're not good at actually just making the music yourself first. So that means I can safely say, just try to emulate all the other producers first. Like, take their kick rolls, their effects, their screeches, recreate them, see how they do it, and then you could be like, okay, let's make my own stuff, right? It's like going from this point where you know nothing, then knowing what's done, and then you can determine, oh, okay, it's kind of this learning curve. The more you know, the less you think you know. So when you've been making hardstyle and emulating people for 5 years, you realize that you know nothing about hardstyle, and you kind of can pinpoint the points where you can like innovate and do something different than everybody else. So that's why it's very important to invest in the scene and kind of understand where everybody is at, so you can eventually develop your own sound. So that's like these basic lessons. And there's another thing, work organized. This goes for everything. I'm a strong believer of having, like, if you're serious about music, just make a clean desk. Make sure it's only for music, if possible, and clean up your computer. Don't have like 20,000 working processes laying around. actually try to finish some music, categorize it in maps and in folders. It will help you so much. Also, never delete a project. Save your projects in the right way. Save all your renders in the right way. Make sure it's all organized. Have a nice desk. And, if you're very serious about this and you're actually approaching this from being a business and a very big artist, I think it really helps to also just live a healthy lifestyle, I guess, because it can get quite stressful to become an artist. And I feel like it's more motivating. It will demotivate you very easily if you're not eating healthily, if you're not working out and everything. It sounds cheesy, I know. I'm not going to be like some like health guru here or something, but I do think it helps a little bit. Like if you're not if it's a hobby and you're just doing this for fun, but if you're actually watching this and like, I want to become a very good artist, how do I approach it? It takes a lot of time and effort and energy. So might as well just make sure all the other parts in your life are also like giving you energy. So that's something, I guess. So those are like the basic things that are now out of the way. And then I think it's a nice time to actually talk a little bit about developing your own sound. So how can you develop your own sound? It's pretty vague, a lot of it's about innovation, and a lot of innovation people don't like. Let's say you think about McDonald's or Burger King. Before it was invented, nobody thought about it until it was invented, and then you're like, oh shit, that is the most logical thing that could happen. You could approach hardstyle the same way. You keep on seeing these new artists, and it's like, yeah, they definitely had their own signature style, like Fertile or Adjust or something. You really listen to it, and you're like, oh, well, that's new. Or Sub-Zero Project once they became big. So the thing here is, how do you get your signature sound? I think it's not done, and it's just an opinion, but that's what I experienced. It's not done by thinking, how do I get my signature sound? It's done by just making music. The moment you start to compare yourself to other artists, or you start to, and it could be in like their sound, but it could also be in their shows, their finances. It could also be the way they act or whatever. The moment you compare yourself to them and try to emulate their sound, or just even compare yourself, it kills the joy, it kills your creative process. So what you need to do is just have fun. And don't think I need to make something. And that's why I think it's bad to start being an artist before you have your signature sound, because when you're already an artist and you try to be a professional one, right? I need to make the distinction, but you can put music online, call yourself an artist, but you're actually just putting music online. That's fine. But if you're actually an artist, but you don't have your signature sound yet, it kind of kills your... What happens is you become very obsessed with getting bigger and bigger. You should be, that's fine. But at that point, you're actually also like killing your, because there's so much pressure, you're actually killing your ability to create your signature sound, because you're like, oh fuck, I need to make new music, need to do it fast. Oh shit, there's deadlines and I have shows. And like, if you don't have your signature sound yet, it's kind of tricky, I think it's better to have fun, release some music. Don't make it too much of a thing, and just keep on making music without giving a single fuck about what other people are doing. The moment you do that and just have fun and like Delete had a very, very cool style. He just did what he liked, and it's crazy how much of a signature sound that guy had. I think it's like one of the best ones in the scene ever. And he did so much controversial shit in his music, which worked. It was his signature style. So what you need to do is do that as well. Take methods that people are using and do it completely the wrong way, and you'll find that you'll get a lot of cool signature sound ideas. So I can't sit here and be like, here's how you make your signature style, because I don't know what it will be. Neither do you. But what I can say is, don't compare yourself, and don't start really being a really active artist until you have your signature sound. And don't go into the studio like, oh, I need to make my signature sound like now, because it's very easy to think and think and think, while the moment you're making music, it kind of already is your signature sound. I just think that if you make music with the idea, I need my signature sound, then you automatically start thinking about what is other people's signature sound. You're going to kind of take their influences and put them in your music like subconsciously. It's just going to happen. But if you sit there like, let's just make a nice tune, and you're just doing it, you'll get the closest to your own signature sound. And there's another thing you need to realize when you have something nice in hands. So sometimes just sit back and just really analyze, like, what did I do in this song, and what determines this song and what makes it so good. And once you've found that point, really pinpoint it and be like, okay, let's go and work with this and just keep on processing it and use it for my signature sound. Because I think a lot of people actually came across some stuff that they did which sounded really cool, like combining jazz or something in music, fine, but then they just made a new tune and not doing it. I think you need to pinpoint what is actually making your music unique if you actually come across something in a song, and then double down on it and keep doing it, okay? So that's a good thing. So then there's another discussion, that's like signature sound and then, dumb lessons that you need to get out of the way. But there's another side to all of this, and that's like the numbers game and like the business side of things. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. First of all, when you're sending demos to labels, so this is kind of going to be about like, how do you grow as an artist, right? Or how do you grow as a brand, and what is branding? So, well, let's just start first things first. Branding is not your logo and your banner. Branding is who you are as a whole. And that sounds too cringe. Not a lot of artists actually have total branding, but branding in general is how you how you are viewed by anyone that follows you. So how do you go on social media? How do you look on stage? How do you produce your music? What's your logo like? What's your colors like? Branding is something that resonates with the audience, and it's much more than the logos. That's first things first, right? So as an artist, you need to it's not something you determine, like, I'm going to be this. It's going to be a journey, and you're going to expand and be like, oh, this works pretty well. Okay, let's do that more. But you need to get started. That's the first thing. When you want to make it, just start. Don't plan everything 6 months ahead. Just release a song, release another one, keep on doing it. And while you're doing that, make sure you're networking. So get into a community of producers like this one. Start talking with people. Start making some collabs, some calls, some friends. Online friends are great. And the moment you're doing that, you're actually expanding your network, and you're gaining access into the scene. And you will learn from them. You will get feedback from these producers and these other friends you make. You might come across some cool deals, like people setting up promotional tools or anything, and you can get access to that. So that's great. But you need to start. You can't just be like, oh yeah, you need to make a start with your brand, and then you expand your brand and your image. And it's all a journey. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like a pretty chaotic story, but it's a journey. You start at 0 and you get to 100, right? You start just releasing a song. That's like the general idea. You release a song, you add some artwork, you have a general idea. I'm making raw style and I'm adding some French girl. All right, so that's my brand. So you're releasing that music, it's going right, and then you just come across a community of producers, you talk with them, make some friends, send the music around, someone is like, wow, that's dope. And after 3 or 4 months, you're making some collabs, and this dude's like, oh, I know someone at Scantrax, well, let's send it. And then after 2 months, you get the feedback, well, you need to do this and that. Okay, sure, I'll fix it. And then you go back, you do that, you improve your brand because you see that really worked with Scantrax or something. You keep on improving, and then this is the journey where you're kind of forming and emulating your brand. That's how it's going to go. I guarantee you. There's like the Martin Garrix story of sending 1 demo or 3 and getting signed and becoming world famous. That's just not how it works. It works with hard work, starting at 0 and putting in the time and effort to create so much music, and then actually releasing it, the ones that are good, and then like forming your brand. And then around these releases, there's so much promotional work that you can do to maximize results. And the most basic thing is look up everything that is free to do to promote your music. So let me give a list. Facebook, Instagram, your website, LinkedIn, article post blog ups. You can even make your own articles and your own blog and just post about it. You need to you can like submit to Google that your artist name is like a business, so it shows up on Google. You can post your music on Repost Network, Spare Music, or any distributor like DistroKid. So you get like 20 platforms posting your music. You need to fill Google with your name. Like, you need to make sure that every song gets a crazy coverage of free SEO, free promotions, and everything. Your name should be spammed on Google. So that's one thing. if you're an artist, you also need Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever. You just need every social media platform, SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, your own website. Sure, you need to have everything. You could even set up merch, but that's not really needed. But it's all free. Just make all those pages and actually link them. You can use Zapier. I'll link it, but you can use that to post on all these platforms simultaneously. But just do that, and you will find that being an artist is really about being present everywhere. And focus on things, but be present. Don't just post like once a week. Or if you post, do it consistently. So don't just post 2 times a week and then for a month nothing and then 4 times a month. Like, say to yourself, every week I'm posting 1 thing and 3 stories. And then keep that up for 2 years and you'll see what a difference that makes. Even though in the beginning it will be stupid, but afterwards it will get better and better and better. So that's one thing you can do. You can go on every platform and every release you make, you're going to go 2 weeks in advance, like put pre-save links. You're going to put promotional tools. You're going to tell everybody about it. You're going to make sure that it's pitched on Spotify editorials. You're going to send it to emails of people that are in the scene or have promotional lists or YouTube channels. You're going to go on YouTube and you find every channel that posts hardstyle, and you're going to email them. You're going to send them a Facebook message everywhere where you can find them. It's linked on their YouTube. You're going to message them, and you're going to send a nice, like, very professional email. You're not going to be like, yo, post my music. You're going to be like, hey, I followed your channel for a long time. I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I would love to have your thoughts about this music. I've worked on it for blah, blah, blah. It's a nice tune. I hope we can, let me know what you think. I hope I wait your response, this and that. Here's a Dropbox link. Always send a Dropbox link with your name, radio, and extended mix. And the artwork, send it to them and send it to everybody. So that might mean that you will be sending 80 messages and emails and DMs per release so 1 month in advance. Then your release is out, pre-save links. After the release, you're going to keep pushing it until there's a new release. So you're going to put it on your story. You're going to push all the wins if you add it to your playlist, if you're added to YouTube channels. You're going to just continuously give this idea like you're growing as an artist, and everybody that's following you is like, oh, that's pretty cool. So you're active. You're getting followers that are active, and then at some point, the thing that's going to make you stand out is if you have a very good sound or a lot of streams. So the moment you get recognition, you can actually expand on that and make people resonate more with you. So there's people with 100,000 page followers and they have shitty engagement. And there's people with 1,000 followers that is much better. And the thing that makes the difference there is that their engagement is better, probably because the branding and everything is better. So the audience really resonates with the artist or the page. So as an artist, really try to have your own branding, your own sound, and that's where it actually comes in handy, because you could spend 1,000 hours and 1,000 euros to push the best type of stupid music, and you will get like 10 likes. I don't know. Let's just call it 10 likes. Someone that spends €1 but has crazy good music, branding, professional images, and resonates with the audience will actually get much more likes, 100 likes. It's the better you are, obviously, the better the response. So not only focus on this promotion, but also focus on having the right sound, resonation, and everything. As long as you're making those people feel at home that are actually following you. It needs to make sense. So what you're doing right now is taking a release, taking a year of consistent releasing every month. And every release you do like this pre-release promo. You're going to do after-release promo. You're going to talk with people in the scene, artists, people, communities. You're going to network, send emails around. You have all these social medias in place. You have your website, Instagram. You're consistently posting on your Instagram every week, stories. You're also pushing that on Facebook and everything because it's linked from Zapier or any like of these apps that work that way that will automatically post everywhere. And Google will be full of your name. There will be blog articles. There will be people that know your name because you've been sending professional emails, very important professional emails, and you've been sending your best music. You've been grateful. You've been kind, humble, all these things. People will start to take notice. And let me tell you the thing about labels. Labels probably listen to all the music they receive. And 90% of the time, they're not going to do anything or like 99%, because it's just a song. First of all, they don't know if it's ghost produced, if it's very good. Second of all, they don't know you, and if they know you, they're like, yeah, but we need to know that this artist is going to take us to the next level. So either you have a fuck ton of streams, or you have a super crazy good sound. And having a good image and all this effort you put it in front, like in front of sending the demos, that's going to kind of make you hover in between these places. Like you have some streams, you have some following going on. You're not that crazy good with your signature sound, but now you have a shot because people realize you're professional, you're humble, you're really dedicated to this stuff. And labels, they want to make money. Like, and of course they want good artists, but labels are a business as well. So when a label sees you being the professional artist that they can represent on their label, they might start to take interest. So another thing you can do to get in contact with labels is obviously sending demos, but one thing that helps as well is try to get on networking events. So go to events like DEF CON, smaller labels, and just talk with an artist of the label. Just talk with people from the label if you see them, and be nice. Don't talk about I'm a artist. Like, maybe mention it, but don't overdo it, right? So when you're then sending a demo, you could be like, hey, I talked to Mitchell or whatever, and he said this and that. Well, yeah, fun. Now you have like this you're in. Like you have this spot to actually connect with these people. That's a nice thing. Get involved in the scene. Stay professional and humble. Build your following. Be consistent as fuck. And create your own signature style. Once you do that, you will get better and better. I would advise against putting money into your stuff, except for getting a website, getting your own logo done on Fiverr. Get your own logo and branding. Make your own merch so you can wear your own t-shirt with a nice logo. And a nice hat or whatever you want, and invest in like a camera or whatever, so you can take professional photos. But don't make it fake, but just make it your own branding. Like, make your page the way you would want to look at the page, make it look nice. So that was a pretty chaotic story, but it's a lot of lessons. You can watch it again, but the thing is, consistency, humble, professionality, and actually understanding social media marketing will get you a long way. But don't spend money until you have a proof of concept. So don't put money in ads, don't put money in playlist placements or anything until you feel like that if you do that, you will get in a major position. So until that time, have fun, create your signature style, get better at it, and just release music and don't put too much pressure. If you have writer's block, take a step back. Ask for feedback, connect with people in the scene, network, have fun, and really build your brand. That's about it. What I can say. I will put some links in the group here, so you can actually download the spreadsheet with all the stuff you can do as an artist. That's free, so you can grow your brand, and some tips and tricks that will always help. This was just like a video giving you an overview. Hope it was nice, but make sure to watch that, download it, and have fun, and let me know what you think. Of course, you can just hit us up in the chat or make a post, and we'll get back to you if you have some questions. So yeah, good luck.